My favorite scene in Psycho Pass takes place in episode 11, after Kogami and Yuki defeat the Manhunting Peel for sport in an underground arena. Makishima Shogo shows up to clean up what happened, and he takes Yuki away from Kogami because he's left unconscious after the fight, and Tsunemori Akane chases after him. It's a pretty interesting scene because she's too far away to physically stop him, and the only tool she has on her to stop him is her Dominator. And he talks about his ideals, how he thinks people only really have value when they're acting of their own free will, and that the psychopaths in the civil system kind of block that intent. It really takes away the free will of some of the people. And so he basically says that he is going to kill Yuki and gives her an ultimatum. He throws his shotgun down to her and he says, "You can either rely on the Dominator and the Sybil system, which can't defeat me because he is asymptomatic, he can't be scanned by the Dominator and judged as a target for lethal elimination, or you can take things into your own free will, betray the system, and shoot him with the gun," which is not approved by the Sybil system, of course. Really, it's kind of a lose-lose for her and a win-win for him, because either way he gets what he wants. He either kills her with no repercussion and gets away, or he forces her to agree to his ideology and thinking that really to have proper justice, you have to use your own discretion, use your own judgment. You have to act on your own free will, which she refuses to do because it's illegal and the civil system is something she believes very closely. So she hesitates very hard and half-heartedly tries to shoot him, but her will falters and she misses him entirely. And he ends up killing her best friend right in front of her with a knife, proving his point that she doesn't have the resolve to beat him and that he's kind of right in some way. It's a very clever scene because the setup is entirely about pointing out how hypocritical Tsunemori Akane is in some ways, how she really believes in this, but there's deep flaws within the system that she believes in, and that she kind of just hopes they'll go away, or that you won't have to deal with them, and that by sticking to the law to the letter that she won't have to really handle or acknowledge those problems. But Makishima Shogo shows her that no matter what, she does have to deal with those flaws. It's not something that she can just turn away and ignore. And it really forms a lot of the themes for the rest of the show, because a lot of the rest of Psycho Pass is about acknowledging those flaws. I mean, the whole show is about acknowledging the flaws in the civil system, but later parts of it, she actually begins to work with the civil system and become a part of them and try to help polish out some of those flaws rather than rejecting it as a whole like Shogo or Kogami do. It forces her to do some growing up, honestly. It's a very interesting moment as a character, and it's really hard to watch just because of how brutal it is. It's definitely one of those moments that made Makishima Shogo one of my favorite villains, just because it's such a expertly crafted scenario by him and it proves his point so clearly. And that's why it's my favorite single scene in Psycho Pass. Thanks for watching, everyone.